Hello, you gorgeous people. Welcome to the Crystal Crawford Show. I'm Crystal. I think after enough weeks, you and I are going to kind of know who we are, and I might not have to introduce myself. But if you're brand new and I don't know you, hi. So this is a show where I, either with a guest or by myself, riff on a tool or a topic from the massive body of work of Access Consciousness. And if you watch this show or listen to the show on a regular basis, you know that. If you don't, invite your friends and torture them with it, because we start looking at all the different facets of what it takes to actually create a life that works for you, create a life that you're like buzzing and happy to be in, and all the other things that go with that. So, hi! Hey, y'all! So if you think somebody should be tortured with the topic of, are you hiding in plain sight? Go ahead and share this. Hi Miriam, hi Mary. And otherwise I'm just going to start. So I am in a, part of the beauty of this show is I'm in a constant ever growing expansion myself. And I'm always looking for the things that are going to get me out of where I'm stuck, or invite me into more, or make my life greater. And so I've been doing a lot. I'm doing a class right now called 47 Days of Moving Past Doubt, Unhiding, and Knowing What You Know. And I also started another class called Becoming Money. And so there's a lot swirling in my world in all these areas. And one of the things that I do when I'm unraveling a topic for myself is I dive into what's called the reference materials. And those are a big, massive group of pages that basically is material that gets kind of discarded from the foundation classes and the level 2 and 3s and the choice of possibility classes. So as a certified facilitator of access consciousness, part of the requirements to become a CF is to buy the reference materials and get really familiar with them. Amazing resources, because you can, I put them into Evernote, which is this really incredible resource thing, and you can search them. And so I've been searching in the reference materials for clearings and more information on hiding lately. And one of the subjects or sections in the reference materials that popped up when you searched hiding was hiding in plain sight. And so I started reading on that. And so I'm going to be looking down at my computer because I actually pulled out 2 sections from the reference materials that I want to throw out to you and riff on, in the hopes that this opens up something for you. When I discovered the hiding in plain sight section, there was a clearing right before that basically cleared everywhere that I was trying to change the world in private. And so I've been looping that clearing of like, what would it take to actually not keep trying to change the world in private, but actually, get out and be seen. And I've been really aware that even though, I am probably one of the more public people in terms of my videos and what I share, that there's plenty of times that I don't fully expose myself. And plenty of times that I'm doing there have been anyway, plenty of times that I'm doing facilitator or doing business coach or whatever it is. And so I've been asking for the universe to show me what being exposed would be like for me. Yay! Hi, Lila. I've just been asking for some kind of ballsy stuff that maybe before I didn't want to see, that I really want to see. So I want to read you a couple of things and then see where we go from here. But in the reference materials, one of the things that it says in this section is you never hide anything unless there's a potency there. You never hide anything unless there's a potency there. And, this thing about hiding is it's something that only you can know. We've been talking a lot about moving past doubt. And when you get into the conversation of doubt and fear in an access consciousness class, we talk about how doubt and fear are something called distractor implants. So they're not real. You at some point aligned and agreed with or resisted and reacted to a thing, a point of view about doubt that stuck it in place. And that's what allows you to be implanted in the first place. But they literally take you into some place that you can't handle. So anytime you're in doubt or anytime you're in fear or anything that goes with those choices, you're into something that you can't handle. You're in what I call the distractor implant universe. So there isn't anything in that universe that can change it for you. And what we typically do with doubt and fear is we try to go into the why of it. Like, well, why do I feel this way? Or where did it come from? Or how did it start? Which we're told is the way to fix it. But the truth with distractor implants is that the only way you can change a distractor implant is get present with it, acknowledge it for what it is, and then choose again. So it's a really interesting thing. You can POC and POD, which is the clearing statement of access consciousness. Go to theclearingstatement.com if you want to check that out. You can POC and POD any and all of the distractor implants that are holding it in place, and then you have to choose. So that's kind of the gift and the bitch of it, is that a lot of times with these tools, we want to be able to clear out, can you just clear the doubt and clear the fear? Well, I can clear the distractor implants, but I can't actually make you or invite you or incite you to choose again. That's only something that you can do. So as you're moving past doubt and unhiding, what's required is a lot of new choices. Awareness and acknowledgement of where you've been functioning from, and then a lot of new choices. And that's exactly what I've been engaged in the last 2 or 3 weeks in my own life. Like, if you guys have been watching my videos at all, you've seen it in action. Is, okay, cool, so I'm functioning from doubt nonstop 24/7. Well, what can I actually choose? And getting up in the morning and making a different choice for that day. And so this is interesting to me. So you never hide anything unless there's a potency there. In the areas that you can't change, if you'll lower the barriers and be with it and see what's there, all of a sudden, you'll get a question. You'll get a connection with this energy, and you'll have movement instead of stuckness, or something that will allow it to change. So all of us have these stuck areas. You might be stuck around money. You might be stuck around showing up in the world. You might be stuck around starting your business. You might be stuck in your relationship. So you never hide anything. You don't hide a money problem. You don't hide a relationship problem. You don't hide your own brilliance from yourself unless there's a potency there. So this is actually pretty cool then. So if you know you're hiding, what that means is that you're hiding something that's brilliant about you. Not that that's it. So, okay, cool. But so if this is an area that you haven't been able to change, you just lower your barriers and get present with it. Now, how do you do that? How do you lower barriers? I'm going to show you right now, okay? For all of you guys that are live and watching in the future. I'm going to play with me for a second here. So I want you to tell me what changed. So I'm going to do something right now. And now I'm going to change one thing. And then I'm going to do it the other way. And I'm going to change one thing. That's raising and lowering your barriers. And you might have noticed that when I lowered them, you felt more at ease. And when I raised them, you felt not as at ease. That's because anytime you're around somebody who has raised barriers, you can perceive them. And then you think it's you if you don't ask, does this belong to me? So with the stuff that you can't change, when you lower your barriers to you and you just begin to be present with the energy that's there, something's going to start to shift, okay? So vulnerability, and the reason I'm blending these two is because to change something for you where you've been hiding for a long time, what's required of you is to get vulnerable with you. And vulnerability is not crying. Vulnerability is just being willing to receive everything with no point of view. And it has a lot to do with lowering your barriers. That's probably one of the primary tools of this conversation. And I've played with this tool on and off, blah, blah, blah. But to really, really, really get present with me, I didn't realize how much was required of me to get vulnerable with. And if I get there, there's a piece in here about getting vulnerable with money and what that means. And I think that's going to probably blow your world wide open. So vulnerability is the willingness to know that whatever you want in life, you can get it if you're willing to go get it and go do it. Vulnerability is recognizing where you are and not having a judgment that you can't do it because you don't have enough money, because you can't. Because vulnerability is just recognizing where you are. And I think what happened is I was reading through this and I started recognizing some of the things that I've been choosing, not actually knowing what I was choosing, of just really lately have been a lot of just, how do you like my English? Just being okay with where I'm at. Like being okay. Okay, this is where I'm at financially. This is where I'm at in my life. This is where I'm living right now. This is where we're at. but knowing at the same time, not eliminating the knowing that I am changing it, that it is changing, that I have the capacity. All of that is getting vulnerable with me because it's all true at exactly the same time. And that's actually me being willing to unhide me to me, because the things we typically hide are the things we think are wrong with us. So like if financially you think you should be in a different place, or with your business you think you should be in a different place, you're going to try to hide that from you, mostly. And then if other people ask about it, then it's this bravado, this front thing that we do, right? If you're not showing up in the world, you think something about that. You don't know what you're going to say, or you're not sure if this. And so things that you don't choose come from this place of where you've decided and judged something about you. But vulnerability is just acknowledging, all right, well, I've been doing that. I chose that. I have a new 10 seconds. What would I like to choose now? And then this question of, what would I like to create as my life? And what do I have to do to get there? That's vulnerability. I was like, wow, that's not what I thought vulnerability was. So I'm going to go on with this. This is so good. So there are times when, for whatever reason, you choose to be you. There's been so much stupidity around being, around showing up, around how you can be, around what's possible to be. Because of that, you'd always go back to the old place because there wasn't any awareness of sustainable being. Sustainable being is where you can be all the time. And unbeknownst to me, that is exactly what I have been choosing the last 2 or 3 weeks with whatever I chose, whatever changed. It has been this place of sustainable being, this place of just knowing and being and perceiving and receiving. And I'm like, I don't know how to tell you to get here, but I know this conversation will contribute, because I'm like, this is a possibility that's available for you to choose when you're really willing to just get vulnerable with just right where you're at. Sustainable being is where you can be all the time. What is in this reality is the exact opposite of that. So the fact that you can even get to the place where you can be some of the time is a miracle on this planet. How many of you have been doing the act of caring? How many of you, because you didn't get to access you because of the image and the hiding in plain sight point of view, were actually not able to access what was true for you? So that it was always kind of an act of caring. And I know I'm sort of blending a few things that don't seem related here, but this act of caring, I'm like, even the act of caring for yourself. When you aren't aware of what's true for you and you're acting caring, which has some element of what's true for you, but not nearly all of what's true, then you create sadness, depression, unhappiness, and all this other stuff that's also an act. That's not any truer for you, but you let that be there when you're not actually accessing what is true for you, and it's all surrounded by stupidity, so you can't get to it. Okay. So this is the clearing. So what stupidity are you using to create the hiding in plain sight are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, podpoc, all name, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So it's the ideal way of hiding all the potency and the caring that's actually there. And so remember, we started at the beginning saying you never hide anything unless there's a potency there. You don't hide how much you care unless there's a potency there. You don't hide money unless there's a potency there. You don't hide talking about the tools of access consciousness unless there's a potency there. You don't hide your business unless there's a potency there. You don't hide how angry you are unless there's a potency there. You don't hide these things unless there's a potency there. So how many potencies are you refusing with the hiding that you're choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, podpoc, all name, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So this clearing right here, what stupidity are you using to create the hiding in plain sight are you choosing? Times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it? Right, wrong, good, bad, podpoc, all name, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And for those of you guys that are kind of new to this stuff, stupidity is unawareness. So one of the reasons we use the word stupidity in these clearings is it brings up a lot of judgment that you have about yourself. Stupidity brings up a lot of judgment. If we just said, what unawareness are you using? It's a little, it's nicey-nicey. So we just throw stupidity in there so we can clear more judgment. Because judgment's what sticks anything in place. So here's this. So it's the ideal way, this hiding in plain sight is the ideal way of hiding all the potency and the caring that's actually there. And listen, for you guys to change anything in your life, anything, all of it, all your life, what you require is you. And you are the potency, you are the caring. So if you're hiding all that from yourself, you don't have access to you. That's why this topic, You know, this question of what would I like to create as my life and what do I have to do to get there is where I've been living lately. What would I like to create as my life now? Because I have to re-ask it all the time because I change things so much. You know, I just leave places and I go to new places and I start new relationships. So like I have to keep asking, what do I want my life to be like? And what do I have to do to get there? I need access to me to do that. If I'm busy judging myself, I don't have access to me. If I'm busy projecting and expecting on myself, I don't have access to me. All of those things cut me off completely, and I am my most valuable resource. So what stupidity am I using to create the hiding in plain sight of my choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, plot, puck, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So it's the ideal way of hiding all the potency and the caring that's actually there by putting it in the facade that is the image around you that you create. I do image so well. I've learned how to do it so well. And I can be in this video as an image with flowers just as easily as I can just be and still look like this. You know, I could do either one, but you'll know the difference. And you know the difference when you're being in your life, when you're being versus when you're doing image. So you do this image of, see, I'm caring, but it's not nearly the caring that you have the capacity for. So creating that image and facade is the ideal way to hide it. And this is the thing I'm discovering more than anything we hide is how much we care. How much we care about other people, how much we care, just how much we care about the planet, about consciousness, about clients, about people changing, just how much we care. And so I looked at that. I looked at me as a kid and what it is that I ended up covering up so dynamically, and it was that. I am this like effervescent, bubbly, caring thing, you know, and I started just trying to be a badass because I decided that was more valuable, or some sort of coach, or whatever that is, you know, and started being this other, doing this other thing that wasn't actually being me. So how many of you are hiding what's really true for you? By creating the image of that very thing being true for you that's less than what's actually true for you. Holy shit, that question. How many of you are hiding what's really true for you by creating the image of that very thing being true for you that's less than what's actually true for you? And the best place to hide something is in plain sight. That's exactly what I was doing. And when I got confronted on a call that I was on, then somebody said, Crystal Crawford, you will not let yourself be exposed. I was like, what do you, have you seen me? I'm like one of the most exposed people I know. But I was like, oh my God, this thing. What? I have to find it. What thing? How many of you are hiding what's really true for you by creating the image of that very thing being true for you that's less than what's actually true for you? So when you're being what's actually true for you, you're living fully exposed. You're being completely vulnerable. You are changing the world. But when you're doing the image of the thing that's true for you that isn't actually being the thing that's true for you, you're hiding it from you. And the best place to hide something is in plain sight. So what stupidity are you using to create the hiding in plain sight that you're choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion when you destroy it and create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So who or what are you defending for or against that if you didn't defend for or against it would allow you to have all you truly be? And everything that is, will you destroy it and create it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So there's so much on this topic that I'm going to do a 2-call series that I haven't put together yet. So you guys are all invited to that when I do it. But what I'd really like you to invite you to look at is truth. Ask yourself some questions. So truth, am I hiding in plain sight? Yes or no? If you get a yes, just go, okay, wow, what am I hiding? How much of me am I hiding? A little bit or 1,000%? What would it be like? What would the world be like if I chose to unhide it? What am I hiding it with? What am I using to hide this? What potency is it that I don't want myself to know about? What potency is it am I unwilling to be? start just wondering about yourself, and you're gonna know. You'll know if this topic is your topic. You'll just know. You'll be like, oh my God, I'm hiding too, and I'm hiding everything right in front of everybody, and I know I'm doing it. I just don't know if I know how to unhide it. But you can begin to unhide it if you're willing to get curious about it and just start asking the universe to show you. You can unhide anything from yourself, and I just like to acknowledge that if you are willing to do this, that takes in a tremendous amount of courage. And so if that's something that you're desiring, then just first acknowledge how brave you are. Ask the universe to all those questions that I just said. And just begin to ask, you know, what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to be as present and vulnerable as I truly be for all eternity. And everything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, podfuck, all land, shirts, boys, and beyonds. Hi, Erica. Cool. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, I have a 30-day free trial on the Clearing Loop Club from these shows. Every single time after the show now, I create a new clearing loop. So you can loop the show itself if you want to, but you can also get in on that club. And it's 30 days for free and $19 for a month of free loops. If that's interesting to you, you can go to my website and it's there. But otherwise, I am so grateful for you. And if this contributed, if you'd share it, I'd be so grateful. And I'm going to cut it short this week because I don't have to go 30 minutes. Who says? Mwah! I'll see you guys next week. How about some unhiding, yeah?